All right, let's just continue. We were like, I'm Kwesi Baye, and I'm with
Xander.
Xander, and we were talking about how, I guess, how people kind of reject their duty towards philosophy.
Right.
And he was going into detail about Sartre, about you can continue like
Sure.
what you're
Yeah.
saying.
So, the public education system does not teach you how to um, gain full ownership of your life and your brain and what it means to think. It teaches you how to parrot. But I mean, and I think everyone would agree with that. But I wanted to talk in particular about, and like, what does it mean to think? That's the domain of philosophy. But I also wanted to talk about, I wanted to just, give a shout out to Sartre, um, like the concept of bad faith, which is that the lack of willingness to engage with your own life. But also like, in general, shit or get off the pot, stop being a fence sitter, but also about being a historical agent, about being someone inhabiting a time and place in history, and having responsibility for not just simply responsibilities that just are your job description, or things that are just simply your job role, but a responsibility to think to think things that are not in your department, and that belong to the comments, that belong to things that we're all thinking.
Yeah, how can people advocate for themselves if they, or advocate for others if they don't even know how to develop the process to do that?
Yeah, I think that, not that it's not as if a degree or training in philosophy gives you superpowers. It doesn't give you, it's like, aha, now with the power of philosophy, I can critique the work of philosophy 20 times more, as other critique the work of ideology 20 times faster than before. Um,
Yeah, like
no, like, I think that people are doing philosophy all the time. I think that, like, it's like, there's very useful things happening on the internet where people are just like talking about their lives.
yeah.
And so you might like, people, you know, concepts kind of last until they don't, where they are no longer useful. I think that people are definitely seeing that when it comes to ownership. Like, what does private property even mean in the age of video game rentals?
Yeah.
It's just so obvious. The exceptions are just so in your face that they're no longer useful anymore to even think of ownership. It's just, as they say, if piracy, if owning isn't ownership, then piracy isn't stealing, or however the hell it goes. Yeah.
And it's just like how technological concepts render like historical ideas irrelevant. As I was like, I talk about like religious text and historical text, and one of the common things that most people who have studied Christianity or studied Judaism or studied Islam know is that like there's this specific idea of this curse of Adam, right?
Bro.
So, he said, you will toil the ground. He said, your wife will suffer in childbirth. He says that, so pretty much the curse was, you'll farm.
Yeah.
They changed it to you'll work. But as work becomes more abstracted, what is the meaning? Like, what does it mean to toil the ground if you are sitting at your desk, typing on
Yeah.
typing buttons on a computer? It like labor has almost completely become divorced from the physical. So it's
Right.
and with AI and things, it might even accelerate even more. What
Yeah.
will humans do? So it's an interesting conundrum, but that goes back to your topic with how like ideas become relevant until they're no longer relevant.
Yeah.
And so,
I
people,
have a so I love dudes who smoke too much weed and think too much.
yeah,
Like, so just to bring this thing real down to earth, I think that, like, people need to, exercise their homegrown ability to think for themselves.
yeah,
there is a way. I mean, and like a lot of people get caught up in like, I mean, there's a lot of natural intellectual talent
Yeah.
that is being, a lot of like, I remember I was talking to this a couple years ago. I was talking to a guy who worked at this coffee shop, and we were just talking about like, well, what is money?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know, I was just kind of riffing on a metaphor. I was riffing on a metaphor about like how, like, like, like you can exchange like. I think that people can understand that just like if one guy makes oranges, another guy makes I don't know, another disposable like thing that rots, cows, sheep, meat. Like money can last a lot longer than these disposable goods can last. Yeah.
I read this book and I forgot. I'm trying to remember who wrote it,
Right.
but it was a very impactful book on economics.
Right.
And it talks about that subject. Like, they say that, the idea that we barter,
Right.
like, that never happened in history.
Oh, you're talking about David Graeber.
Yeah,
You're talking about David Graeber, the
yeah.
first 4,000 or 5,000 years.
Yes.
Dead.
I completely forgot his name.
Yeah.
I don't know how I forgot
Yeah,
it.
no, debt never existed. Debt never existed. I mean,
Well, it's not that debt never existed.
oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
that, barter.
Yeah.
Like credit systems were fundamental to human interaction.
Yeah.
Like, people had the gift economy, and people had an agreement that if I do something for you today, you'll do something for me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Money symbolizes that and allows you to count that. And debt is kind of like that obligation to come to someone's aid or do something.
Yeah.
And the idea that so the perverse incentive of debt is that it causes equalization where equalization shouldn't occur. When you are in someone's debt, you are someone's ether, but at the same time, you are someone's slave.
Oh.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
That's nice.
Yeah. So
That's very nice. Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's so like I feel that way whenever I have to sign an end user license agreement,
yeah.
because it's just like, well, it's pretending like we're equal, but they have like, I don't know, I feel like a tank has pointed its barrel at my head.
Yeah.
Because it's like I clearly don't know what I'm signing up for. Verbiage, thousands of years of like legal precedent, like it just like I don't even know where to begin. But they're asking me if I accept. Not only that, but it's in a situation where I need the software to do my job.
Yeah.
As an IT guy, I've clicked the end user license agreements for other people.
It's as old as the Faustian bargain.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, but like, I shouldn't even be able to even accept an end user license agreement for another person. Like, that's just a violation of law,
Yeah.
right there. Like, why am I in a position where my boss tells me, "Well, click." Did the user click the end user license agreement? No, we'll click it for them. What? Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Why am I accepting an end user license agreement on behalf of somebody else?
Yeah, you're essentially signing away
Somebody else's rights.
Yeah, and like the thing is, slavery was the ultimate description of this, and this goes in like several historical societies. Like people are allowed to rent and sell labor in modern society, and some people say that entire situation is unethical inherently. But the idea of buying someone's labor, like you indenture them, or like in exchange for canceling their debt, you take them into your household and make them do work forever.
Right.
That just completely blew my mind. Like realizing that credit systems fundamentally lead to that is insane. And all it takes is for like some law to say, it's a crime because, in US law, slavery can be, you can be someone's slave legally if you've committed a crime. So
Yeah,
if they say it's a crime, if they say it's a crime to not pay your debts, then what happens if Congress says so?
Yeah. There's I'm at, like, was that? Are you referencing like the new Jim Crow, or are you
No, I'm
referencing
referencing today the 13th Amendment.
Yeah,
And then I'm taking in Graeber's concepts and applying it.
yeah. Oof. Right. So, I mean, there are like, Graeber goes into a bit of this where it's like, well, conquerors will say to the conquered, "We spared you your life,
Yes.
therefore you owe us."
Yes, yes. He talks about that.
Yeah, and so that really just kind of points out the twisted nature of our sociality.
Yes, yeah.
And like, yeah, that yeah, I mean, because it's just like, oh well, to pay your crime to society. Yes, how many Amazon, how many blueberries do you need to pick? How much trout you need to farm?
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's yeah, I mean, underlying the economics is a social relation. I don't know, like, and I'm not an economist,
Yeah.
but I find that argument to be persuasive. That's not to say that everything, like, that we live in a post-work society, but like, what the fuck, what do we owe each other? Like,
Yeah, yeah. We live in a society, and is there like an unwritten contract? Like people say that by living in society, there's an unwritten contract, and individualist cultures try to get away from that because uh, that's fundamentally against the idea of liberty. I mean, the thing is, the idea of the level to which we owe each other is that fundamental concept of individualism versus collectivism,
right, yeah,
which can have some economic concepts, and like you can like discuss this like anthropologically and this,
yeah.
but that is a fundamental question of society, and everyone alive has different opinions on exactly what we do owe each other.
I think in the next 45 seconds, the volume is going to get cranked the fuck off.
Oh,
I mean, it's a very emotional song.
yeah.
You feel safe. You will stand that this Thursday.
It's not a good place. It's usually quieter than this.
Yeah,
It really is.
I guess it's becoming popular.
I hope so.
The waiter, no, not the waiter. The bartender said that this was gonna be a bad shift because like no one was here, so hopefully she's gonna get
Yeah,
out of his way.
I really do. I mean, yeah. It's a bar. I mean, this is a bar that I like a lot. Even like, I don't know, like, going back to what you're saying about. I mean, I think this bar serves a social. Not. I like to set right. I like to point out two things, two assumptions, fallacies.
Yeah,
That I think we live by. If something doesn't make money, that means it's bad.
yeah,
And the second fallacy is that if it's anything which is against the law is immoral.
yes. We have certain laws that have nothing to do with morality.
The law has no relationship to morality. The law has no relationship to morality, and profitability is not an index of usefulness.
This reminds me, I debated someone about legal positivism, like the idea that everything in statute is law. And I took the idea that that's a philosophy. No one agrees on that. And he took the position that legal positivism is our like everyone's legal framework. But we know that not all court cases, not all like even revolutions wouldn't happen if legal positivism was strictly enabled. Like people make post hoc justifications in legal theory all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that like things like show trials and like things like that may have legal definition, but it's not based on statute. It's based off of political opinions.
Yeah.
I like to say that either law is a branch of political science or political science is a branch of law. And I don't know which is the answer.
Yeah. I mean, certainly, I mean, I like, you can, I mean, I don't think there's many people who would support, for instance, Citizens United.
Yeah, of course.
Like, there's like, I mean, I watched
I once made a steel man for that. Like, do you want me to discuss it? Like,
for Citizens United.
yeah, I could make a steel man for that.
Steelman Citizens United.
Okay. So, Citizens United says that
Was it?
associations of people, organizations of people, have the same rights as individuals.
Okay.
So, let's say you're a union, right?
Okay.
You can pool your union people's money and donate unlimited money to a political action committee. Not necessarily a candidate. There's campaign finance rules against it, but a political action committee that can, well, it's not supposed to coordinate with campaigns, but there's certain nuances around that. Like you can say, support the candidate who supports increased pensions for teachers or something like
This
that.
is like, well, teachers for so and so.
Yes, but Citizens United is the idea that like all associations, political associations have that right. So all associations, not political associations, all associations have that right. So whether it's a corporation, whether it's like, any group of people who have political beliefs, and that's like the intention of that makes it sound reasonable, but the results of that causes like
Yeah.
money in politics.
Yeah. There's I mean that a group of people can, I mean, so, I don't know. This is kind of, I feel like I'm going back to my mechanic car situation, or
Yeah.
just like, listen, buddy, I don't understand the law, but I know when something's bad for me. Like, just like the system's broken,
Yeah.
fix broken system, and it's just like, well, whether we're talking about cars or political systems or anything,
Yeah.
it's just yeah, and
The right place.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, there is also, I mean, I forgot, like, I'm not sure if it happened to the Nixon administration, but
Yeah.
there was a business roundtable. There's a business roundtable, just an association of business owners. There's Chamber of Commerce. I forget what the specifically was. It was a white paper by a Chamber of Commerce. This was like, well, listen, there's an anti-business sentiment afoot, and we just need to crush it.
Yeah.
It, plain as day. Plain as day. And
Years.
yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like there isn't. I'm not gonna pretend like that there isn't a business class.
Yeah.
Or a
There
capitalist
definitely
class.
is a capitalist class.
Right, and just the capitalist, and it's people, Fox News will clutch their pearls every time someone introduces anything that might be a tax on the 1%.
Yeah.
They'll call it class warfare. I agree, it is class warfare. We just forget which side fired first.
Yeah.
Like, this is the complaint of class warfare, is when a mouse bites a cat. In these cases.
You're a tax guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So on this topic,
Yeah.
I can give a rational reason why rich people who are in the ethnic majority of their nation would support fascism over communism.
All right.
Do you want to know why?
Sure.
Okay, so you have two bad options. Well, if you're an ethnic minority, you're screwed. Like, if you're rich and an ethnic minority, flee the country if you had to choose these between these two
And
systems.
the stakes are you are in an ethnic majority
And you are rich.
and you are rich. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
If you're an ethnic majority and rich, the fascists are gonna say, we won't steal your property.
Right.
We won't take your property or like take your property. All you have to do is so cheer us on, when we gas the minorities or do whatever to like undesirable groups. Don't say anything. Don't turn a blind eye. When the communists come to power, what happens to the rich person?
Oh, up against the wall.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So if you're lucky, all of your property is gone.
Yeah.
If you're not lucky, you're dead.
Yeah.
So a rich person, if he's in the ethnic majority, is going to make a rational decision, a calculated decision to support the fascists over the communists.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would. I mean,
But
so-
an ethnic minority, obviously, if he's rich, flee the country. Do whatever it takes. Do not choose. Like flee the country, sell your assets, even if there's a hint of that happening.
And why is that different for an ethnic minority?
Why? It's
Yeah.
because, the fascists can easily turn
Oh
it.
well, right. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We can't. We simply can't have someone who's suspiciously foreign in charge of such important equipment.
Yeah.
Or industry. Of course. Yeah. I mean, so
Revolutionary politics are completely horrible for ethnic minorities who are rich.
Yeah.
And ethnic minorities, depending on the historical revolutionary state.
How are revolutionary politics worse for for a rich ethnic minority? Are they worse compared to a fascist for the fascist politics?
For a rich ethnic minority, revolutionary politics, I'm talking about revolutionary in any sense of the word. Like if there's a fascist revolution, a communist
okay.
revolution, any sort of revolution.
Yeah. Right.
Depending on what sort of values the revolutionary has, they're always going to say that the nation or ideology before everything.
Right.
And the ethnic minority doesn't have that
doesn't
same
belong to the nation, apparently.
doesn't have the same ties.
Right.
So it's fundamentally dangerous. That's why Jews in like Europe have had a great sense of neuroticism and worry because and the United States because rising anti-Semitism can on both the right and left can ruin their lives.
Yeah.
It doesn't justify what you think about whatever you think about the state of Israel doing whatever.
Of course.
But you can understand why they are very worried.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. Let's say that we're talking about race capitalist politics. It's just the Jewish proletariat is my friend. The Jewish capitalist is my enemy.
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
seems like it. We can make this very.
But the thing is, it's hard to tell the difference if you don't know, if you're some ethnic majority person, you can't obviously tell who is the capitalist. Yes, you can figure out public wealth rankings, but you can't tell someone's wealth just by looking at them, at least in modern society. And that's a deliberate decision by capitalists.
I'm reminded that there's an expression in Silicon Valley that if a bunch of guys are dressed in business casual and one guy's wearing a hoodie, that the guy in the hoodie is the richest man in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. If there was I stayed at a stumbling block. Had a brain fart.
No worries.
Had a
No
brain
worries.
fart.
No worries. Take your time.
But your way out of my
So,
and it's weird.
what would you say is your politics or
I mean,
ideology
well, I mean, I think that before I could even begin to talk about that, I have to talk about
your philosophy, right?
that's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Everyone can put when it comes to philosophy and politics, anyone can kind of it's kind of like this costume closet where
Yeah.
it's oh, I'm a this, I'm a that, and it just kind of contributes. I mean, have you ever noticed that people who are interested in politics are basically a whole bunch of nerds? Yeah,
I'm a nerd, so you're raw nerds here.
This is a nerd to nerd communication.
Yeah.
Or they're people who there's a funny overlap between the politics people and the politics people in high school and the theater kids in high school. It's kind of aspirational.
Yeah.
About politics is largely a matter of your quote unquote beliefs and what type of beliefs you espouse and then you engage in
As it relates to other people.
Yeah, what do you think? What are your values? How do you think other people should live according to your values? Which is kind of a gross kind of thing to even start with.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's just like, and then it's like, oh well, then only the most articulate have a voice in this conversation, or only the most,
Or the person who can persuade other people with money, or like, it's just like
Yeah.
either like the intellectuals are the bark dogs of the elite. So
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like, yeah, I am an intellectual, but like, it's frankly speaking, a disgusting role. Like
Yeah.
the role that the people that I've been raised to be a specific type of person, and I don't like the role I've been put in. A wonk,
yeah.
a wonk,
Yeah,
like this,
yeah.
and it's disgusting to me. So it's like before you even ask me, like, oh well, what are my political beliefs? It's like, buddy, I don't even want beliefs. Like, I mean,
Definitely.
it's not, but I don't mean, I don't like, but I suppose that like what I mean is that like, I mean, I'd like there to be like, it's not, I want to problematize, or at least kind of like troubleshoot. I want to troubleshoot the idea that it's just like, oh well, a person has opinions. Like a person with a soul, usually a soul, becomes a believer or has opinions that are got this kind of like transcendent kind of idea.
Yeah.
A person with a soul has beliefs. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, let's start from brass tacks. Like,
Yeah.
the foundation. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I was talking with my girlfriend who, like, so she's a little bit different from me. Not as much as, like, a heavy philosopher type as me. And she's like, I want to become more of a philosopher or something like that. And I just ask, what are your values?
Yeah.
Yeah, you start from like your basic beliefs about how the world works, and you build up from there to it's like building a tower.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is. I mean, we didn't get this on on recording, but we were talking before about when if you debate someone, first find out where the conceptual like categories that they use, and find out the conceptual building blocks that they use. You find out their values, and you find out what they want, and then appeal to what it is that they want. Otherwise, you want to just talking past each other. So, I mean, and so like, right? I mean, like, I don't know. That's a like it's a good approach. I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
Like. But like, I don't, I mean, I am trying to avoid the kind of like in social media bubble that we're in right now,
Definitely.
where everyone's a talking head and everyone has to be seen like caring about this and caring about that, rather than just like having like,
Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's useless. I mean, the work of an intellectual, it feels like it's useless.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, oh,
Unless you actually break ground in like some new way.
yeah. I mean, I think that, I mean, I don't know. I largely think that like the popularity of a concept is like says something about like, I mean, like if a new concept is useful,
Yes.
people will take it up and use it and apply it to something else.
And use it in even unintended ways that the person didn't even think about. I often think about this when people discuss. So, people talk about the idea that, I'm trying to explain this. Effective altruism, right?
I'm go ahead. I don't really know. Yeah.
Okay, so
It's about like preventing like the deaths of people who aren't even born yet or something like that.
it's not even that. So they take the beliefs of, the Beatitudes and like the Sermon on the Mount,
Yeah.
and then they take the other stuff, like what the other stuff of Christianity away, but it's pretty much the idea that we should focus on making the values, like making these real values, like caring for the poor, caring for in an effective way, caring for the least among us.
Okay.
They think of the most practical way to do that of all sentient people.
Okay.
and all sentient like persons. So it could even include AI if we believe they are sentient. So and like some people say it should apply to things like veganism or like social relations in general. So it's more of like it's a revolutionary movement that has been kind of
Bell is like
it's not my belief. I'm not really an effective altruist,
Okay.
but
beer.
it's a point of view of a revolutionary belief system that wants to make that serious, but it has been sullied by these techno types and like Sam Bankman-Fried. Like you've
Yeah.
heard of him as this effective altruist, like genius. He kind of like made it a dirty word, essentially.
Yeah. Right.
And I have my own critiques of effective altruism, and a lot of people have good critiques about effective altruism, which you can find online.
Okay.
But it's
Yeah.
just my mind.
I'm just not familiar.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, it comes. Yeah. I just got to learn more about it.
Yeah.
Literally the entire grammar say 80,000 hours.
Oh, really?
I just said you.
Oh, I've already been referred to some effective altruism. And then I guess
Has already moved to that too.
Yeah, it's
We
all
can
right.
have 1 second. We're gonna add to the conversation. You were talking about 80,000 hours.
Yeah.
Vietnamese. And I'm
Yeah.
80,000 hours.
My
What's
partner
that?
here referred send me a video. It's a website. About
80,000 hours refers to the idea that if you have an average, like graduate from college and is 22 and you work till you're 65, you're going to work about 80,000 hours in your career. So that's like the most amount of time that you're going to spend on anything. So you should pick your career very carefully. That's the premise. And so they're associated heavily with effective altruism. And I think that they might actually be where Sam Bankman-Fried got the idea, although they definitely do not support the way that he went about it.
Yeah. So, how about we go more into detail about this? Like,
so nice.
what
And it makes that this for your parents.
is that? Do they like? I always think of like my life as like, I always live my life with a sense of urgency. Like, I have a limited time, so I have to do the best with my time. But I obviously take breaks, and I'm not completely neurotic about it. But you know,
It's the
I'm wondering
because I bring
why,
the ever and so
both why and how this could break. Like this idea could break because it's a good idea, but it also leads to neuroticism and like short-term thinking as well.
I mean, unfortunately, 80,000 hours is like, I mean, I wish the resource existed, when I was growing up because,
Yeah.
it's, I want to live in a measure twice, cut once kind of society where unfortunately time is still moving into the future.
Yeah.
You don't have the luxury of thinking before you act. It is, I mean, that is how, that is how mistakes get made. But I mean, you can also choose wrong too.
Yeah.
You can also meditate for a very long time on decision and then make a wrong decision.
Yeah. They often say that the best corporate leaders, this is like a finance slash business slash like political leadership thing, is that the best decision makers aren't necessarily the decision makers who think on a thing for a long time. The best ones are decisive. So if you have to choose between like making a decision and not making a decision at all, make a decision whether it happens right or wrong. That's what the idea of leadership.
Sometimes, it's like I would, if I have a choice of decisively taking a poison or not taking a poison.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I should procrastinate on that one. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I mean,
well, they do show tapples. Like
it's
so actually,
yeah,
Yeah, but decisive leadership does not always mean successful leadership. That's why leaders fail. all the
right.
time.
I mean, I don't know. I think that I mean, well, I'm clear. I don't make decisions for other people.
Yeah.
I don't make decisions for other people. And you know, I think that there's I have a lot of respect for people who make decisions like that, because that's not an easy decision if you care about the impacts of your decision.
Who's happy? This
Um,
is our farm meeting.
there's a and I think that there's a value to I just read something recently about a boss of a company, who's just been AI hallucinating his has just been consulting AI.
Oh my god.
Just to or like and his whole team was just like, we can't talk to him anymore. We can't talk to him anymore because the AI is not like he's just
Just parroting out lines, or does he have AI psychosis?
he has AI psychosis where it's like, bro, like he's been talking to the AI for so long, he doesn't even understand his own business and he what requires. And so, like, I mean, I don't know. I think you could see. I like Star Trek. I like a captain. I like people who make decisive decisions, and you have a team that goes with it. I believe that when someone has to send the captain's ship, but I also think that's a single point of failure.
Yeah.
I think that.
I tell people,
I mean,
this is important.
I recently watched this video from Johnny Harris, and I don't like a lot of Johnny Harris, but I like this one video that he had on I can never pronounce this word. Ogliopoli. Oglipi.
Oligopoly. Oligopoly.
Oligopoly. Thank you.
Yeah. Economics concept. I'm
Yeah.
familiar with it.
And so I mean his the recent video was very good. It's about how the United States was never a representative democracy to begin with, and how wealth in oligopolies, like, it's not that wealth is speech. It's that it's not that wealthy people can buy elections. It's just that
They can broadcast easier.
they're the biggest voice in the room, whether they express it or not.
Yeah.
You have people in this country who have the wealth of nations. How could they not be consulted and be like, oh, like it's like the same way that a planet deforms space-time because of its mass alone. The wealth of people, the wealth of individuals. And I do think that the scale of the scale of some individuals who are so wealthy can only be measured on a logarithmic curve.
Yeah.
And you can only measure these things in terms of magnitudes of.
I guess by definition, elites have disproportionate influence on society. It's like a tautology.
Yeah, exactly. It's like exactly. It's on a topological definition.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
could they be elites if they didn't influence? Yeah, like that's.
Sorry.
You what? Can you state your name as well, or if you mind, you don't have to.
It's fine. My name is Elam.
Can you say it louder? I'm not sure if it caught.
My name is Elam.
Okay, Elam. Okay. All right.
Where were we? Oligopoly or what you want to call it?
Oligopoly.
Oligopolies. Yeah, and so I'm not sure where like I was going.
It was something related to effective altruism.
Right. I mean, yeah. I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar with effective altruism. I watched one Philosophy Tube video on it and went in one ear and out the other.
Basically, the simple version is that, like, think about if you're donating money to a charity in New York City, versus donating money to like a charity in like Sierra Leone.
Right.
Like, how far is that dollar going to go?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I also hear that, like, food aid and like medical aid, you may think it's effective in like Sierra Leone, like various African countries, but really what happens is that local elites in these countries like take over the distribution and sell them or give them to political allies. So it's a very fucked up situation.
Yeah. And then that's why some organizations exist, like GiveWell.
Yeah, GiveWell. Yeah,
And they like
my-
actually go and check and evaluate where the money is actually going.
Yeah, GiveWell. I've heard of GiveWell. They kind of talk about the best place to put charity. I'm a little bit like suspicious of like a centralized area say this is the best use of your money. Like this has like the most dollars given to the like amount of people, because honestly that could be manipulated pretty easily. but
Single point of failure.
yeah, single point of failure.
So yeah,
as I
and that's
said.
why there's also organizations that give directly,
Yeah.
where you would be giving the money like directly, as it implies, to a person who is going to use it for like start their business or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, man, it's I don't know. I think of like the highway, a certain psychological tendency of mine to think that the world rests entirely on my shoulders. I wish to offload.
Every intellectual thinks that.
Right. It was just like I wish to offload. I mean, I don't know. There's like we do favors for each other. Some people will think about things. Some people have done the math, so that I don't have to be the bear.
Yeah, you stand on the shoulders of giants. He said that.
Newton, that was Newton.
Newton. Okay.
Yeah.
Old post.
And there's like, yeah. There's there's this concept that I like called the general intellect. I'm not sure where I got. I believe it's an old communist, like a communist cybernetic kind of concept, where it's just like, well, the public itself is a thinking entity.
Oh, like the collective will. Is that another word?
Not so much the collective will, but as much is that just like that every single person is like a processor. We get information processor. So,
Still die.
I think that thinking is a form of labor. I think that thinking is a form of labor, and that people think about things like that. I don't think that, and that does help. I'm willing to just kind of like specialize myself. Like I don't know where someone fulfilled my money, so I will trust get well or anyone needs go please.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot about information over power. I think a lot about information over power. And just like lack of processing speed. To like just even like make. There's one of the things that I think like we started this conversation about thinking about like being an agent of history, or like accepting the fact that you actually like you and your actions will have historical consequences. I think, and I also think a lot about information overload. We also talked about fascism and how a rich ethnic minority is is either going to get put up against the wall or be kicked out of the country and just have all their assets taken over by the state. Aristotle, cycles of history. I mean, I worry, let's say it. United States is a declining empire.
Yeah.
It's a declining empire, and it's just like, well, what does that mean for us? What does that mean for how does one live with dignity at the end of an empire?
Yeah. I mean, most empires tend to go out with a bang. Like my biggest worry is that like some president goes rogue. Let's say Trump actually like invades Greenland, starts a world war.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, it's not like this can. I mean, I feel like my personal belief about U.S. as a declining empire is that there's a crown lying in the gutter for a future dictator, like due to the centralization of power in the presidency, due to the way the system is allowing deference to the president, due to the fecklessness of Congress and the enablement of the Supreme Court. Any president who is sufficiently determined and has popular support can become a dictator.
Yeah. I mean, I think about an individual can hold convictions, but it's a couple of magnitudes. Individual senators can hold convictions. A mass of senators is just a mass like any other mass. And I think that Trump understands that. I think that Trump understands that just it will be one of the biggest disappointments of my life to see these civic institutions roll over to the growing executive power that he's stopping us off.
Yeah, and imagine if Trump was smart. Like, like that would.
Right. Yeah. I mean, more patience. Yeah. Yeah.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah.
Or even if he was good at organizing his allies.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
like it's ano.
We're staying on good terms with anybody ever.
What?
We're staying on good terms with anybody ever.
He can't even get his allies to work together. Yeah. What do you think about? So, I mean, do you have thoughts on I think about the failings of democracy. Before we started recording, we were talking about the democratic project with its roots in the Enlightenment, and it was never fully fulfilled, of course. But the basic supposition that we all have that we can think and reason and build a government out of reasoning people. As democracy fails, as it becomes too bureaucratic, too slow moving, you have people like Peter Thiel who say that technology is an alternative to politics. Like if you want to change the world, you would just start a startup and just make the code that you want. And it's hard with each drone day. He's becoming more and more right.
That's only if power becomes more privatized, which I don't know whether, like, obviously there can be things like the East India Company. You can argue SpaceX and Tesla could be that aspect, but ultimately state power is so powerful that, let's say someone Elon gets on the wrong side. Like, I was thinking, like, you know how Anthropic got those export controls recently, right?
Yeah.
I was saying that, like, if a government who is sufficiently powerful enough wanted to, it can crush, especially in a large economy like the United States, it can crush any business.
A SpaceX.
Yeah, SpaceX, let's say, or it could, like, seize its assets, pay out the investors, like, a tiny morsel for it, mandatorily. So,
I mean, theoretically, but that's not really how things work because of the revolving door between these private companies and the government positions that regulate them.
of course, only because politicians don't pay themselves with politicians and what I would say is that the elites in the United States are different from the elites in China, where instead of the government in the driver's seat, the government takes a back seat and then allows, like, private companies and private individuals to, like, duke it out and, like, make the best process. Whereas in China, it's more state directed, and whether one's better or not is just to say, but either way, you're gonna get concentrated power because power abhors a vacuum. So that's my opinion on things.
Yeah, I mean, so do you think that, frankly, I just don't know. I'm wondering if there's a future for democracy. I'm wondering if there's a future for democracy when you have, like, the power of algorithms eclipses anything that government can do.
But ultimately, algorithms show people what they want to see, or do patterns based off of, like, people's emotions. So,
Oh, well, that's a lot better. That's fucking awful.
No, I know.
This is for truth.
I know, of course, that's horrible. But it's the idea of mob rule aspect of democracy, like, because Democrat. So the reason why people like Mussolini say fascism is true democracy is because they used, like, the brains of like hugely and like manipulate it into a way that populist unrest is, people like democracy. Yes. Channel. Yes. So like, you can say democracy is one man and a vote, but democracy can also mean populism. Right. So, I mean, if you mean democracy by institutions, there's a definition of democracy where it has like limited government. People have their rights and established belief and the right to live their own way, which is this aspect of. So it's the idea of liberal democracy versus illiberal democracy, which is what I'm trying to get at.
What's an illiberal democracy?
An illiberal democracy is a democracy essentially like where you can call it like Russia. Like they have a republic, they have people voting for the president, there is a democratic process.
Yeah.
But in reality, the elite have tighter control over the population.
Right. I mean, I feel like we live in a liberal democracy. I mean,
We've definitely gotten closer to that now.
I mean, listen. I mean, the purchasing of a social media, like when Elon Musk purchased a social media platform, he's basically buying reality.
Yes.
Like, I mean, aside from it, he literally can put his finger on the he can put his finger on the scale and literally change what for his buy rate. It's yeah. We like the streams of information. I mean, they have a choke point. The streams of information have a choke point, and that's the algorithm.
Yes.
Worries. Fuck, man. Like, I don't like. In a proper world, we need to like, I don't know, either decentralize the social media platforms, or I mean,
We
like,
tried that though. Diaspora.
rest in peace, Celia.
I'm not familiar.
There was an attempt once to have a decentralized social media platform. It was called Diaspora. It was written in Ruby on Rails. That's when I started getting interested in programming, actually, because I wanted to run a server in Diaspora. But yeah, it never really took off because it was like you had to rent a server space or like host your own server in order to be part of it, right? People just weren't that
You
savvy.
hosted, so they were called data seeds and data pods. So
Yeah.
you could basically be running. Imagine this: you have a social media presence that is run on your computer. If your computer turns off, so does your social media presence.
Jesus Christ. Is it permanent or like?
Well, no,
how permanent?
people were renting server space. Like you would basically be hosting it. You're on the cloud. You didn't call it that back then, but that's essentially what it was.
Yeah. Or on the cloud. But yeah, I mean, it was very real. Unfortunately, Ilya, one of the founders, died, and he was very young, 22.
Okay, we're still good.
Yeah. It was a very ambitious project around 2012 to dethrone Facebook. It didn't get taken off the ground.
You also would like scrape your social media platforms also. So like if you were still on MySpace, like back then, MySpace people were still on there. And Facebook, I think Twitter might have started yet, but like you could actually have your feed from whatever platforms you're on delivered into your Diaspora, so that you could also send replies. And then that'll shut down, which is I think part of the reason that this blower got killed, because Facebook made it impossible for you to send your feed in and out of like another site.
There's
My worry is that if you, yes, if you decentralize platforms, you kind of get a less top-down control, but that doesn't eliminate the mob frenzy that general democracies are worried about. Like moral panics happen all the time in democracies. Things bubble up from the ground all the time that can negatively impact people. And of course, good things can happen too, like rights movements and like things like that. But it's just because we decentralize something doesn't make it better.
I think that, I mean, I can't stand this business of comparing things.
Yeah.
I can't there's like
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe this.
Yeah.
So maybe you should cut this thing what I'm about to say because I don't know. I don't know if
okay.
I no that's fine. No, let it roll.
Okay, let's let it roll. I might cut it if it's too like
Sure.
dangerous or like
Yeah.
or whatever.
I'm spinning from the top. I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I don't like so there's risk analysis.
Yes.
Risk analysis. What are the risks if we do this? What if we decentralize? Oh, well, it might cause a cascade of XYZ. You want to know who's not thinking about that shit at all?
Who?
Elon Musk.
Oh,
not
yeah,
in
of
the
course.
fucking
Of
slightest.
course.
Not in the fucking slightest.
Of course.
It's just like, you want to talk values. We know his values and we know Donald Trump's values. They move fast and break things and then consolidate them around their own fucking selfishness. When for the people who actually have consciences, the people who actually have consciousness are left, they love it that we have a prefrontal cortex that prevents us from actually acting on our actions. They love that shit. They love that we are filled with doubt and insecurity,
Yes,
and that we
yes,
have to be like,
absolutely.
we have to we have to lay out a roll map, and then there's like, oh, well, sorry, you didn't zone the shit properly, or what the fuck. And it's like, we are left holding the bag for their impulsivity. Our impulsivity is just like, oh, I better not do anything on a whim. I better not build a system on a whim without knowing where it goes, where they're constantly improvising and they just feeds it back into they shit into their own mouth like a feedback loop. And why is it the job, I am willing to be responsible, but not when I'm playing with children. Like, again, my literal children, I have, of course. I have a good uncle. But why is it? I just want to push back. Like, oh, of course, decentralization has its risks. Blah blah blah. Yeah, let's talk values and let's talk about what values matter to Americans. Who are we?
Next administration can seize Elon Musk up.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like, I'm sorry, you don't get to own that much money and be on ketamine. Be an adult, you fucking nut.
I mean, you can have a lot of money and doing ketamine, but then you shouldn't be a public influencer.
No,
Maybe there's just like three things, pick two.
The man is literally consulted for use of his satellites in warfare. Like, I'm sorry, who the fuck invited the man-child to the war room? You don't so maybe your talk about values is correct. It's like maybe politics is downstream from values.
Yeah.
No.
But at the same time, let's say we centralize this in a more accountable way, the government. You're still gonna have figures like Robert Moses or like J. Edgar Hoover or like
Are you talking about government centralization? Or are you talking about
Government centralization.
not okay? So we're off algorithms.
Yes, we're talking about government centralization.
Right.
So if we put it in the hands of an accountable executive branch, or not executive branch, but elected officials,
Yeah.
they're gonna commission bureaucrats to do the regulating or do the services that we have.
Right.
And the problem that I have with term limits is that it empowers the bureaucracy too much. That's the only problem I have with term limits. Because if you have term limits, that just makes the bureaucrats and the lobbyists more powerful. So let's say you have an accountable democracy, and you have term limits and that thing. You give up figures like Robert Moses, J. Edgar Hoover,
Right.
the leader of the FBI. Robert Moses was I think, transit person.
Yeah, architect of some very evil shit. Yeah.
Yeah. You just leave more power in these government adjacent people.
Yeah.
And now it's more informalized, where we have Elon Musk and government contractors, defense contractors having influence, but they're more of a conduit of power. However, it's the same downstream issue. You just masked it in a way.
You're talking about long-standing people. I don't know. Sometimes when I'm in these conversations, I feel like a blind man trying to discuss the sun. I don't have any experience with
Yeah.
this type of shit. So it's like, yes, I come and join this conversation, but like, I just don't know. Like, I don't know. Let me. So, this is a spicy take right there.
Yeah.
Like that's a very spicy take. Term limits, spicy take.
Yeah.
If
But it's not about term limits. It's just about the idea that power affords a bad thing.
yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
it's not even about term limits. I'm not saying that term limits are good or bad. It's just that there's trade-offs for every decision. And, some people don't understand the decisions like Elon Musk
I
or
see, yeah.
Donald Trump, which gets them into trouble. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, man, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
But one thing you can say about Elon Musk, he is decisive.
Yeah, I suppose.
Which is not good. Which is not good.
Yeah, I mean,
He doesn't think about those.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think his purchase of Twitter was very decisive. He backed in, he backed out, he raised the price.
Yeah,
he
but-
he used his social media.
But once he
influence.
legally said it, he purchased it, or they would have had to sue and they would have had to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think what you're saying is he's impulsive.
Impulsivity is like
At least he could.
that's
Yeah.
so decisive is like the positive framing of impulsive. So decisive, impulsive,
Yeah. All right.
It's
Yeah.
two sides of the game.
Action oriented. Yeah. 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 That's if you're not familiar with Cory Doctorow, I would love to refer you to some Cory Doctorow.
Oh, Corey. So I have multiple people I put on this. Corey, with a C or a K?
Cory, Doctor. Yeah, Cory Doctorow. Dr. Al. So he is a very good thinker about technology in general. He has the show when talking about we were talking about diaspora, which was supposed to be this anti-Facebook thing. When Facebook was coming up, it used Facebook stole its users from MySpace. And it did that by offering plugins that would allow you to get all of your MySpace news on Facebook. So that way you didn't have to leave. You had compatibility, and you didn't have to leave your MySpace friends behind.
Yeah, it's just like how these companies are open source. Like these AI companies are open source until they get all the advantages of the open source, then they close up.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. 1,000%. And so yeah. It's it's always I will disrupt you, but you can't disrupt me.
Yeah.
It's always disruption or move fast and break things, but not my things.
I talk about regulatory capture a lot.
Yeah.
That's the aspect of it.
Yeah. So he has a blog at Boing Boing, I think. But like the book is like the most pertinent to what you guys have been talking about right now. We Choke Point Capitalism.
Choke point capitalism.
Like it's kind of long, but I listened to it as an audiobook while I was doing other stuff. So that's how I get everything.
Oh, it says Rebecca Gibler.
Yes, it was.
Oh, Cory Doctorow. Okay, yeah, fuck you. Okay, you gotta give the woman her credit.
I found out the book through Corey. I forgot that was one because he usually doesn't have a co-author. So
Yeah.
I forgot that one does have a co-author.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I totally worry that in this, in an age where everything, where there's too much information to look at, I worry that, where you fundamentally put your attention, attention is, as they say, the new oil, but it's even worse than that. Like, attention is like our DNA. It is constitutive. If you don't have attention, you don't have fucking anything. And it's just we have, you have all the, it's attention is like that. Effort is a hash of time. Attention, a hash is, so IT speak.
I've heard of hash maps from my brother, but it's Chinese to me.
So a hash is a computation that proves that something is one of a kind. So you might hear this in the Bitcoin space, but basically, if I give you a file, and you want to make sure that it's the authentic file, I will send you the hash of that file, and then you can then run a hash of the file, and if the hash of your file and the hash of my file are the same, that means it's the same file. Okay, listen, let me give you a very basic
But you
example.
also have to encrypt the hash.
It makes sense.
So if I give you it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But continue.
So I mean, it's like if I give you
It's like authentication.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
there you
So if I say that if I distribute software and I'm like, okay, I made this program. Here is the proof. Here is the proof that it's not been fucked with. I send you the exe file. I send you the hash. You take the exe file, and it's just like if someone intercepts it in the middle and fucks with it in any way, the hash is going to be different. So it's just pure unfuckery. If the hash.
He understood it, and he did.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't believe people when they say they understand things. That's my sin.
Yeah,
I apologize.
But it's like a way of verifying
Yes.
that a file is authentic. So,
Yes.
Yeah, sure. It's like authentication, making sure it says what it says or
Yeah.
it does what it does.
Right. Okay. So I mean, and so I think that attention, like the amount of time that a person can devote to a topic, is proof of their opinion. Expertise is a hash. It's a way of proving the value of it. Like, why are we pretending that, like, if you're a yoga mom with Chat GPT, you should not have the amount of credence to your opinion than a virologist who's been studying vaccines for years.
Yes, but my worry for that is like, yes, there is a worry that not having these credentials or this hash is definitely a problem. But at the same time, you don't have to be institutionally credible in order to cause impact. So at the same time, we shouldn't, like, let's say there's a high school educated guy who couldn't afford university.
Wrong.
Let's say he studied the university curriculum, that was established for free without like taking the classes. Yes, he can take the university classes later, but if he has the knowledge, it's the proof of knowledge.
Right.
But absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
Right.
So someone could have the knowledge necessary, but it's not necessary. You have to either talk to them, or degrees are a shorthand. But you either have to you have to prove it in some way. Yes, you need more credibility if you don't have social proof, as my brother says. But at that time, lack of social proof doesn't mean you can't get social proof without established institutions.
Yeah. Let's fuck it. Let's come up with some sort of university. Let's
If you can pass the university final exam, you should be given a degree or something like
And
that.
I see people who graduate universities who really shouldn't be graduating universities.
Yeah.
They call the guy who graduated the top person of their class at a medical school doctor. They also call the guy who graduated bottom of his university class doctor.
Yeah.
Really. So I don't know. I think I would be in favor of some sort of website or an app that's just like, okay, here's prove yourself.
Yeah, but the thing is, with AI, that's probably impossible. So you're gonna have to do an oral exam,
All right.
Talk to your ideas, and yes, that'll bring problems because, I heard that, the French scrapped their oral exam for this university/entrance exam because some people who are more shy and less talkative couldn't really pass it, so they thought it was discriminating against them. So it causes problems, but I mean, it might be a necessity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I feel like we have a responsibility for having opinions. If you have an opinion, then you have a responsibility to make sure that you know what the fuck you're talking about. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
What do you think?
We jumped around a lot of different topics.
Yeah.
What do I think about what is that?
Probably the idea of credentialism. Well, we jumped it out. So how did we get to this topic? We need social proofs. First we talked about
like the attention economy. Like I think I was just largely grousing about the attention economy
And then
how,
we were talking about how power, like specifically, not power versus vacuum, but power accrues to people who are often impulsive, these dangerous people, and then we led to credential. I think we're correlating around a specific topic, but it's just that we're talking about multiple.
and then so I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
You are in fact like an economist, political theorist. You think about power pouring a vacuum, and I'm like, nah, fuck all that shit.
Yeah.
Let's just fucking we'll work according to our values. They're like, oh no, actually, power pours a vacuum, and I'm like, ah, dang, you got a point there. And then I'm like, oh, but what to do about all of these media companies that like that? I'm saying that like attention is fundamentally political currency.
Yes.
And just like, well, what do you do with that? And so, and then like, and then like information credentialing, and how do we get to know that? Like, how do you even? Basically, the problem is, how do you know what to pay attention to? Is that we have problems of attention. It's no longer individuals with ADD and ADHD anymore. The society fundamentally has a problem with attention.
Because there's too much volume of information, and elites can control what we see because they control the algorithms.
Yeah, I mean, and just like because there's too much the fact that there's too much information has really unburdened a generation of scammers to operate in the dark because no one thinks anyone will give a shit about them because they assume no one is paying attention, and they're right.
So following up, what do you think about that? What?
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not really sure it's like a central point is like,
And have power. As like set in.
I mean, no, I still don't really know. Like you're like trying to boil it down and tell me like the central point that you're trying to get at is, and I'm still not really sure. Like we're talking about like
How do we fix
anarchy and power and democracy,
How do we fix?
and like what is democracy in like a technocracy?
How about we go with something more simple? How do we fix the attention economy and the control mechanisms without causing other issues that are worse?
How do we fix the attention economy? Make advertising illegal?
Hey, I'd throw a parade. Hallelujah. We can put our ad blockers and pie holes away.
Or we take money out of social media, ban the purchase and sale of. No, I don't know.
I restrict a referral.
Or have government run social media. That would be. That would be disgusting. That would be disgusting.
Right. I mean,
You don't want the government to run.
right.
I mean, I've kind of built my life around sort of removing as much advertising and tracking as possible. Like I use Linux.
Oh yeah, I use Ubuntu, which is like Windows Linux.
Yeah. Ubuntu is great. Very, very good. So like, I mean, like I really don't use a lot of social media. I'm actually trying to get back into social media because I'm trying to get a job. So I'm looking at like getting on Blue Sky, getting on Mastodon. I'm gonna, I think, stay off of X. I'm not that desperate. I hope.
I get a lot of views on Threads because I tap
Threads,
into
yeah.
the zeitgeist. So like,
Threads is one that I want to look into.
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely like. Azan was always trying to send me like an Instagram or a TikTok, and I'm like, I don't have an account.
But the thing is, in order to get views, like, you can make your point, but you have to be inflammatory. That's in every social media algorithm. X, you have to be like pretty much like a storm front, like, like these Nazi level, like you have to say the most over the top things in one way, like that's either far right, or you say something that's moderate left that like a bunch of people dunk on the out.
Oh, those are the camps?
Yeah, like,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, that's in order to get views on X. I don't have views on X because I'm too, I don't know.
It doesn't seem like you're either of those.
Yeah.
I've literally never used Twitter for anything other than to promote a brand. I've never ever had a personal Twitter. So like, yeah, I'm not gonna start with X probably.
Yeah, but Threads is pretty
That sounds
good.
interesting. Blue Sky. Apparently, there's people on Blue Sky who have like actual conversations.
Yeah.
And it's like sort of like Twitter, but like I don't know, a little bit friendlier.
Yeah.
Sort of my impression. I don't really know what Mastodon is. A couple like
I've heard of
some my
Mastodon,
friends-
but I haven't gotten
Some of my
into
friends
it.
have another. And then like obviously there's Discord, but there's a lot of problems with Discord.
Yeah. I mean, it's mainly private communities, or are there like...
Yeah. So I'm in like some study groups on Discord, and I'm in one for like Dungeons and Dragons. But I haven't actually managed to meet up with anybody yet. But yeah, I mean, I read books like either favorite books in the library or on my Kindle. I don't really know where people are going that they're having all of these like big attention problems.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I've,
just
like,
that
cut it
people
out.
are terminally online. Like me, I'm terminally online. That's why I
I'm
do
used to-
half the things I do.
I'm online a lot, but I'm usually on YouTube, and I'm usually watching like more like.
I'm on
mangas.
YouTube a lot too. So,
Yeah.
but like some people are like so ingrained into short form content that even YouTube videos that are 10 minutes they're fried.
Relatively short.
They're,
10 minutes is relatively
yeah,
short
but
on
they're
YouTube.
they're fried. They're so fried that they can only listen to max 30 seconds on TikTok.
I know.
I mean, I do turn up the playback speed to the maximum. Like I turn it all the way up to double time. And if I had YouTube Premium, I would watch things on triple speed. And I can listen that fast. So like I do still have some of the like frustration with anything. It's like waiting or taking too long.
Yeah.
Alcohol.
All right. Closing thoughts. I don't want to make this longer than it's already 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Fuck.
Well, you can cut out all of the ums.
Yeah,
now
if you
they'll
cut out
have
all the
all
ums,
that.
they'll drop down to like 30, I'd say.
I hope.
There we go.
Fuck. Well. Yeah, I just fundamentally think that we just need to rethink our concepts, because if it's on individuals, I think that, all right, final thoughts, thinking and web activity, conversation is a collective form of labor. Sharing ideas is a collective form of labor. Ingesting media is a collective form of labor. That's why social media is valuable. And attention, it seems to me that what is it that social media does that's fundamentally a machine of the capture of the human mind and the harnessing of the human mind. So it doesn't really make sense to think, it doesn't really make sense for me to think well, what am I to do? Me, I'm a single neuron in this thing. So I think that we need to recognize our situation as thinking beings tapped into a worldwide brain, and we're individual neurons in this, and just to fundamentally recognize our our interdependent brains.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's, where's the 21st century, baby? Let's fucking act like it. That's it. That's what I got.
No thoughts from...
I mean, most of what I've been doing the last little while is I'm really interested in mutual aid. Like in New York City, we have the Mesh NYC, which is this community internet service provider, and it's pay what you can, and so that way people don't get caught from internet, and they're bringing internet down to people who are immigrants, don't have a lot of money, and then they can do their schoolwork and participate, and yeah, I don't know. I just feel the solution is really for us to make connections with people around us, and our neighbors.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Where I was this morning. I was sorting the key for a food bank near my house.
That's powerful.
And there was also a blood drive happening in the space. There was a community-supported agriculture pickup happening this morning as well. And the space also has a community-shared gym space. And then they also have a community access to 3D printers that they co-own together. So connect with our neighbors and do things together with people around you in the local area.
I know not all of you are active on social media, but can you shout out yourselves on social media? No? Okay. All right.
You know what? Fine. You can shout me out. You can
Okay,
shout me
okay.
out. I'm Telefraumfer on Instagram.
Okay. How do you spell that?
TELEFRAUMPTER.
Do you have any social media at all? Or
I don't actually.
okay. Okay. If you get one, I'll shout you out. Okay. All right. Thank you.